and I thought I was just going to be an audio engineer and kind of shut my mouth.
Right.
You know my personality well. I don't really shut my mouth. Um, and yeah,
I
you
don't
laugh it
mean to
up.
laugh, man. I'm
It's
sorry.
good. And it's funny. It's true. I get it. I'm old enough now to look back at myself and God, I'm a dick.
Oh,
I'm surprised that people still want to work with me. But I was
oh
gonna,
man.
yeah, I mean, I realized that plus, yeah, all those talents I had. Again, my ear that led me to do things like understand the instruments and the rhythms and the tones. Like it just became obvious after working with Bryan and that and he encouraged me too. And bless him, he looked at me when I was like 25, straight in the eye, and he goes, and it's so funny because I can say this now. We're not going to get in trouble, me and him, but we had just drank at a bar across the street of our new studio in Burbank, and we stole a bunch of glasses because we kept putting them in his cargo jacket. We were drunk, and he looks at me, and he had polished off like a bottle of Patron, and I had polished off a bottle of bourbon, but we were clear enough to talk. And he looks at me. It was he and I bonded a lot, between sessions at night. And he looked at me. He goes, he had a nickname for me. He called me Kyler, and he goes, "You know what, Kyler? Listen, you're supposed to go do this on your own." He's like, "You already get better drum sounds than me and Dave." And I'm like, "Okay, that's coming from that team."
Oh,
And
wow.
he goes, he said that to me, and he goes, "Also, do you know what really made me want to work with you when we first met?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Do you remember what you brought into me?" I asked him to master a metal record. It sounded very much like Pantera. It was a Japanese artist called Divine Era. And that's how he and I met. Was I asked him to master it. Anyway, so I'm with him, and he goes, "You got these tones on that guitar that blew me away." And this is the guy that still to this day is looked at for the iconic tones of Dirt.
Yeah.
Right? And him and Jerry Cantrell and that whole God, just anyone that's listening now, conjure up the sound of what's that? Dun 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 dun.
Yes.
What's that song?
Yeah. Oh my God, them bones.
What's wrong with us?
Them bones. Bones.
Yeah, them bones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of that tone. And so he tells me, he goes, "When you came to me and you brought me that, and I heard your guitar tones, and he goes, 'Do you remember what happened?' I go, 'Yeah, I do remember what happened.' And he goes, 'I asked you how you made those tones.' And I go, 'Well, I don't own a lot of analog equipment. I'm still new. I used this shitty DigiDesign, the company who made Pro Tools back in the day for you young kids, DigiDesign interface. And I wasn't obviously able to get the saturated tones from microphones on guitar amps that, my mentors were getting. Right. So the way I got around it, I would use extra microphones on extra speakers to fill out the saturation you'd normally get from the transformers and the tubes from really good gear. And I told him, and he goes, "I was pretty sure that you were going to put me out of business because with the tones you were getting with a cheap interface." And I was like, "Dude, that's he hit me when he said, my heart went heavy,
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, "You're supposed to go out on your own and do this." And that, when he told me that, we did get somehow drunk again immediately after that. We ended up playing AC/DC together on two guitars, so we fell asleep at the studio. But he said that to me, and that told me I might have a chance. I think I'm going to take LA on for real now. Not just go work for people. I'm going to say that I'm available and do it. And that was one of the scariest things of my life.
Damn.
When I took on Dead and Amelia, Krista was a client, and and she convinced me, to be in the band. I was done with that with my brother. I was, I'd already seen a lot of that. I didn't want to do it. And she convinced me, and I obviously I said yes. Because I loved her, and then you got involved, and now with you involved, I'm really in now. Right. So it's and what a time we had. But the thing is I also knew, because I kind of mastered social media too at the time, and I knew that being involved in that band, the tones I was getting for it, how cool it was also a certain kind of calling card too. So I kind of combined it all, and that's what built the career from LA. And so no medical examiner now.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask, would you focus more on, being a musician or producing? But I see you do both, but I don't know which one is your, you focus on the most.
You mean in terms of getting hired to work, you mean?
Yeah, to work or, like on your free time.
You know, it's funny, Will, these days, and I'm going to bring up our age again, and because well, because you know what, and I do it. I mean, it is funny, but I do it also kind of to pat ourselves on the back. We said something off camera earlier.
Yeah.
We're still working. We're blessed.
Yes,
you and me.
We are. Yes, we are.
You know, and and I think we're both playing better than ever. I watch you all the time, and yeah. And well, my point is, like, the one thing I do enjoy, even though I take much less income for it. I do take, I mean, I have to do the production job as a primary because it's my primary job and it takes care of my life and all that. But I do take on playing as a session musician or live guy because for two reasons. Number one, I hire so many people these days to play on records that I don't play much anymore during production.
Yeah.
I will step in every now and then if I need to save money. Like, I can't hire a drummer. I'll go play, and I'll wear two hats. But like, when I get hired and I go on tour with bands that I like or whatever it is, I take it because not necessarily for the money, because there isn't a lot in it for a lot of the indies, but it keeps me sharp, like, well, because we always know how to ride the bike, and like I mean, that classic thrash beat, right?
Yep.
Like, let's be honest, if you and I never saw a drum set for like 7 years and we sat on that kit, we're going to play it exactly like our bodies remember, but we will have instant lactic acid. It will be bad. We will, like, our endurance will go to shit.
Yeah.
And so I take on, session musicianship and things like that so that it holds me accountable and keeps me sharp on the instruments. And I'll do it all. I'll take bass, drums, guitar, keys, whatever they want me to do. And and multiple styles just to make sure I'm limber, if that makes sense.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Will Dorsey Jr. Talk Music Podcast. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, that little red button on there. Just hit it. That will help me out tremendously. If you can also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that will also help me. And if you wanted to download our podcast on Apple or Google or Amazon or even Spotify, you can check us out on there. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecord Studio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their eRecord sessions on social media. Visit ERS on eRecordStudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.TalkMusicPodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.